Here in studio, she joins us as we take time to smile this morning.
Yeah, and Claire, there are a few things that make us smile as much as babies.
Isn't it true, though? You just see a baby and your spirit lifts. And sometimes those little miracles come a little bit early and they spend time in NICUs, growing under special care. It's a place where many families go through their toughest moments, but can also be a place where it brings people together, which is what happened at TriStar Centennial in a story that feels almost too good to be true.
I started here in 2000, so this will be my 23rd year here in the NICU.
After spending more than 2 decades in a neonatal intensive care unit, Jamie Horton's seen a lot.
Having a baby in the NICU is not what you plan. It's not what any of our moms plan. Their baby's hooked up to monitors. There's stickers on their chest, which is I describe as lead stickers, but there's leads. They're connected to a monitor that watches their heart rate, their breathing. You know, they might be on oxygen.
It's a very scary time for families, and because they often stay for weeks at a time, nurses like Jamie get to know the families well.
So I remember Tatum was a very tiny and a very sick baby to start. So I knew when I was taking care of her that day, she demanded a lot of my time that day. I got to meet her dad, Jeremy, that day. Didn't get to meet her mom because she was still on another floor recovering from delivering.
Tatum Kelly was born on August 25th, 2005. The same week, another baby was born.
Hey, Leighton, this is September 4th, and I'm going to show your girlfriend. We've got you over here in your nursery. Tatum, Elizabeth.
Side by side in the NICU months before their due dates, Leighton Long and Tatum's parents became fast friends as they endured some of the hardest and most helpless days. More than 2 months later, both babies graduated the NICU and went home to their own Tennessee counties. But their parents remained friends, scheduling play dates for the kids that grew their friendship for 17 years.
We were all going through pretty much the same thing, so it was like an instant connection.
Their storied friendship hit another milestone this spring.
Next we have Miss Tatum Kelly and Leighton Long.
The pair went to prom together in Pulaski, Tennessee, complete with a surprise limo ride and the recreation of photos from their childhood.
It was a lot of fun.
A memory and friendship they treasure as they're truly part of each other's stories.
I'm comfortable around him, and I'm not comfortable around a lot of people.
It's true.
So I think it's because we've known each other for so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like siblings almost.
When you find someone who's like a really good friend, it's hard to like come along those and buy those. These days, especially with everyone kind of in their own worlds. And when you find someone who is like going to be your friend for a long period of time, not to let them go and to always keep in contact.
For Jamie, it's full circle and a reminder the NICU is really just the beginning.
They started life with a challenge, and I have no doubt they'll handle any other challenge that comes their way. There is happy after trauma. There is happy after a NICU stay. And so to see that these two kids went through such a hard time. These two kids' mothers and their fathers and their family went through such a hard time having them here, and now they're celebrating at 17 years old, going to prom together. There's nothing better than that.
Just the sweetest, I think my favorite story. And these parents, they really wanted to share this with the kids because they want other people to know that, you know what, you can also have hope when you're in the NICU. Right. This is not the end of the story.
Yeah, 17 years later, together in the NICU, they go to prom. That is the sweetest story.
I know. And it really is a lot of hope for a really stressful time.
Yeah. No kidding. No kidding. A time that feels hopeless. That's for sure. Well, we have more on Tatum and Leighton's story on our website, so you can check that out about their friendship. But for now, Rebecca, to you.
Unit. Now they're grown up and going to the prom together.
These prom dates share one very special bond.
Next we have Miss Tatum Kelly and Leighton Long.
Tatum Kelly and Leighton Long were born prematurely just a few days apart 17 years ago. They shared the same neonatal unit at a Tennessee hospital. Leighton weighed only 2 pounds, 10 ounces.
Lori and Leighton are here together, so we're bonding.
Little Tatum weighed 1 pound, 7 ounces. And even then, the parents were matchmaking.
Leighton, this is September 4th, and I'm going to show your girlfriend. We've got you over here in your nursery. Tatum, Elizabeth. She's over here next to you.
Both babies were finally strong enough to leave the hospital in 2005. They lived 4.5 hours apart, but all through the years, the families stayed in touch.
Their bond was just
there from the beginning. It was super cool to know that they have that relationship, that they are that close, that they want to hang out with each other.
So when Tatum needed a date to her senior prom, she knew exactly who she wanted to go with. That's right, Leighton, her buddy from the NICU.
When I first received her, I was like, oh yeah, that like sounds really fun.
Even though we hadn't seen each other for a few years, when we met up, it was like nothing had changed.
Leighton even surprised his prom date with a stretch limo, a night both will remember for the rest of their lives.
It was a really, really fun experience, but so surreal.
He's my best friend.
A bond formed at the neonatal care unit, all the way to the prom.
That's just so sweet. And coming up, letting loose at the retirement home.
Two teenagers met in the NICU. Their families met one another. Tatum Kelly and Leighton Long. 17 years later, they go to the prom together. It's a great story about resilience and families. Love it. What was that about? Resilience and family. Thank you. Say robot.
From pacifiers to prom, these two teenagers have been inseparable since birth. In fact, in 2005, Tatum Kelly was born prematurely at just 24 weeks. And sharing her NICU room was a baby born at 28 weeks. And her one-day lifelong friend, Leighton Long. Now, 17 years later, Leighton and Tatum went to the prom together. Here with the story is Tatum and her mom, Laura, along with Leighton and his mom, Lori. Good morning to all of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so we just saw those adorable pictures. Tatum, let's start with you. This was actually your idea, right?
Yes, it was.
So what did you want to do?
I thought it'd be fun and it'd be something new to try, and we've always liked hanging out, so I figured I would invite him to my prom and have a lot of fun.
Okay, and Leighton, you obviously accepted. You guys have been friends. Yeah. Is it hard to wrap your heads around each other? You know, the idea, I was in a NICU unit bed, 2 beds over from her 17 years ago, and now here we are going to the prom.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of a crazy experience, just thinking about like how fast time goes and where you were to where you are now.
And that's such a good point, because Lori, I'm sure you look at the pictures of your daughter in the NICU unit, and it's got to seem like that wasn't 17 years ago. That was just 2, 3 years ago. It's hard to believe that young woman sitting next to you is that little baby.
Well, I'm Tatum's mom, but it is so hard to believe that these tiny babies grew up all these years and they were friends, and then all these milestones that they reached together, including their her senior prom, that their bond was that influential that she wanted to take him with her.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Laura. Lori, how'd you feel about this?
Oh, I was, when I found out that Tatum asked Leighton to the prom, I've become a puddle. I was so thankful and excited that God had brought them to this moment. It was amazing, and I had to just walk away when he told me. I was a puddle.
What do you mean you were a puddle? Just because the kids have been on such a journey together?
Yes, just because of the, having them so early, and just the hard time it is when you're in the hospital and you're watching your baby struggle for life. And Laura and I had a very difficult time ourselves, and to see that God brought them to this very day and to be celebrating and dancing, it's just a tremendous blessing from him.
Now we're all a puddle. Thanks very much for doing that. Leighton, you get the final word. How was the prom?
Oh, it was really fun. It was great. Good. We danced, and then we and played laser tag and bowled, and it was just a really good time.
It sounds great.